In Preston, we've arrived at match day 14 in the NPLW Victoria, and a clash between the fourth placed Preston Lions and ninth on the table, Box Hill United. The Lions are on the quick rebound after 120 minutes in the Cup on Tuesday night, looking to try and get some momentum in the league. Dan Foden's side winners in just one of the past 5 league matches. Box Hill United, meantime, despite sitting in 9th position, they've hit a bit of a purple patch, fueled by a handful of their recent A-League women's signings. They've won 3 of the last 4, but still with some work to do. And Pythagoras sit 8 points out of the finals placings with 9 to play. So it's Preston and Box Hill United on a frosty Friday evening in Preston on the NPL Victoria YouTube live stream. Brent Sternberg is my name. I hope you're keeping safe and warm wherever you might be tuning in from this evening. Here's how they line up then. Preston in their fabulous looking red and black stripes with the gold numbers and names. They've made 4 changes from the team that played 120 minutes of cup football on Tuesday night. Going out of that side is the injured goalkeeper Sasha Lipridis, Ella Talevski, Jade Feeks, and Dakota Thyssen are all out. And coming into the squad, coming into the starting 11 is Lani Jadice, Susan Fonsong-Cam, the goalkeeper Charlotte Hura-Horison, and Emma Checker. Rachel Gillies and Chanel Nikolovsky are out of the squad. In comes Summer Caponecchia. Box Hill United have made 2 changes from the team that defeated the Bentley Greens 2-1 last weekend. Chiara Lettieri and Olivia Johnston go out. Elwyn Parbury and one of their big recruits, Devon Jackson, come into the side. So for Preston, Charlotte Horrison in goal. We suspect it'll be a back 4 of Molly May Ramsey, Emma Checker, Lana Gadice and Jamila Rankin. 3-player midfield of Susan Fonsong-Cam, Miri Nishimura and the captain Georgia Henderson, and a front 3 of Ellie Lamont, Hayley Johnson and Mabe Tanaka. And Box Hill United, we suspect also 4-3-3. We'll have a look and see how the ladies line up at kick-off. In goal, Natasha Stathopoulos again, who's played every minute between the posts this season for Pythagoras. At back 4, Elwyn Parbury, Zoe Hudson, Laura Pickett and Bridie Cooling. In the midfield, we have Holly Murray, Devon Jackson and Olivia Alice, the captain. And then the front 3, led by Asuka Doi, who will be flanked this evening, we believe, by Sophia Sakalis and Brianna Policina. So Preston in the red and black, Box Hill United in the Pythagoras blue, looking to try and string a couple of wins together. Box Hill United kicking off from left to right this evening. Certainly you would imagine would be a little bit fresher. I'm sure many of the ladies at Wembley Park were watching cup football on Tuesday night when the Preston Lions were forced to go to extra time, eventually defeating Spring Hill 5-4, a cup thriller. A game that they did trail Preston up to 15 minutes, 3-1. And despite starting strongly, as it's cleared away there by Jamila Rankin. Well, this time on Tuesday night, they'd already scored, Preston, 22 seconds. Mabe Tanaka got Preston on the board. Who would have thought just 15 minutes later they'd be down 3-1. There's an early foul here going the way of Box Hill United. Our officials this evening, the central referee is Angelique Katsalis, ably assisted by Alexander Katsalis and Aaron McNamara, and our 4th official down below is Geordie Walton. So a free kick here right on the byline. Rihanna Policina, A-League Women's Champion, who's going to send the ball into the 18-yard box for Box Hill. Lifts it in towards a dangerous area, not quite cleared. Here is Parbury. Playing it back for Hudson, who hits it first time. And right into the waiting arms of the United goalkeeper, Natasha Stathopoulos, 21-year-old, as I mentioned, played every minute of the league this season between the posts for Box Hill United. Kept just 1 clean sheet. Be keen to keep another one on the road here this evening. If Box Hill can capture a big 3 points away from home, they will be able to jump a handful of places on the table. In fact, a win would take them up into 6th position for the time being. They would need some help elsewhere across the weekend. This is the only game in the NPLW this evening. The rest of the games will be tomorrow afternoon. You can watch all of them, of course, on the NPL, or I should say Football Victoria YouTube stream. Here's the returning Charlotte Horrison. Getting my goalkeepers mixed up there. That was Natasha Stathopoulos. The ball played out of play, almost into the canteen. Four of the 6 players that played all 120 minutes on Tuesday night have started again for Dan Foden's Preston side. The only 2 that make way, Jade Feeks and El Talevsky. Those 2 are on the bench this evening. Emma Checker chasing down the loose ball. Does look like Preston have begun this match with a back 4. They did play last weekend against South Melbourne with a back 3 and then reverted back to the more customary, I suppose, back 4 in the Cup on Tuesday night. Here's Susan Fonsencam, just loses out Murray. Good work in midfield. Backwards to Laura Pickett. And now Zoe Hudson, the American, started all 14 games now this season for Box Hill United. Parbury trying to nick that one through the legs of Jamila Rankin, who actually scored one of Preston's 5 goals in that cup win on Friday nights. Here's Hayley Johnson, wrestling with Hudson and in fact brought down by the yank at the back for Box Hill United. A sign from Valadares Gala FC in Portugal, the Portugal top division. First season here in Victoria. Rankin has done well to keep it away from Policina. And now out with Tanaka. Pressed it into the 18-yard box for the first time. It's spilled by Stathopoulos. She's got cover in her centre half in front of her there in Laura Pickett, who plays it out of touch. Preston last weekend, prior to that epic cup contest, lost 4-1 at Lakeside to South Melbourne. A game in which they registered 10 shots and 3 on target. Tanaka, Rankin, hitting it first time. Stathopoulos couldn't afford to fumble that one this time at the near post. Yeah, 10 shots and 3 on target last weekend in that 4-1 loss to South Melbourne at Lakeside. It's a scoreline that doesn't look that flash, but they were a lot better than that scoreline suggested. South Melbourne led 2-0 before an outstanding Miri Nishimura free kick halved the deficit for Preston. And the next 15 or so minutes was all Preston. They were terrific thereafter. Nishimura trying to go from distance here. Might get another opportunity. The calls for handball go unheeded. Fonsencam. Ramsey lofting that one into the penalty box, but it's back with Stathopoulos. Yeah, so the scoreline was 2-1, and then a wonderful 15-minute patch for Preston at Lakeside, but they couldn't find that equalising goal. South Melbourne scored goals 3 and 4 after the 89th minute. So going into the final minute of the match, it was 2-1. Preston winning just one of their past 5 matches in the league. Here's Elwyn Parry rolling forward. Finds the brilliant Sakalis, who will be tempted to shoot into the area. It's a heavy touch from Policina. And as soon as it left her laces, she threw her head back in annoyance. And this in the purple is Charlotte Horrison, who wasn't a part of the matchday squad for the cup win on Tuesday nights. Preston winning through to the semi-final of the Nike FC Cup. That's the first time that they have qualified for the semi-final of that particular competition. So they look forward to a semi-final clash with Bandura coming up in a couple of weeks at the home of the Matildas. The other semi-final to be played a week before that. FV Emerging against Bulleen. FV Emerging, who also played on Tuesday night. That was the other cup quarter-final. Their game went all the way to penalties against Brunswick Juventus. Ramsey. Henderson can't skip clear. Box Hill looking like they have decided to rock up with a 4-2-3-1 here this evening. Doy is leading the line. Sakalis is playing in a pair of... He's one of the pairs of the holding midfielders, I should say. Here's Policina. Shot deflected. Not quite headed to safety. Parbury in an advanced position. Policina back onto the loose ball with her back to goal. Jackson. Jackson! Oh, palmed over the bar by Hororison. It's a wonderful save. And it's out for a corner kick. Struck it nicely. And Devon Jackson, who has scored 4 goals this season in just 5 appearances for Box Hill, was one of their mid-season signings. Kiwi, who's playing currently in the A-League Women's for Canberra United, I should say. They've taken the corner short here, Box Hill. And Policina trying to return it to Sophia Sakalis, who was standing in an illegal position. Box Hill United 5 wins, 2 draws and 6 losses this season. 6th on the table. Started the season, Pythagoras, with just 1 win out of their first 6. But have only lost once in their past 7 league games and winners in 3 of their last 4. Down goes Fonsankam in midfield. No foul. Tanaka linking it up with Henderson, who's getting a right royal battle in midfield with Alice. The 2 captains shoulder to shoulder. Hoisted forward by Emma Checker. Laura Pickett heads it over and out. So just quickly, Box Hill, 4-2-3-1. Looks like Holly Murray and Sophia Sakalis are the 2 midfielders just screening the back 4. Here's an opportunity now for Fonsankam. She's into the 18-yard box. Shoots it right at Stathopoulos. Parries it away. Preston's earliest, or best opportunity, I should say, coming early on. Open game. Both teams having plenty of entries in their respective 18-yard boxes. Oh, Emma Checker in a bit of a bind there. Out for Johnson. Doubling back and turning away from Jackson. Tanaka. Fonsankam. Lamont was offside. And there's some dangerous players up front. The Preston Lions. Ali Lamont has had a terrific season. 13 goals. She's scored 7 in the league, 6 in the cup. First season here at Preston, coming over from WA, Perth Soccer Club. Preston's leading goal scorer this season. Policina's been busy early. Out to Cooling. Just a bit too much on the pass. Misses Olivia Ellis. Box Hill in that win over Bentley last Friday night at home. They mustered 25 shots on goal, which would have to be one of the highest numbers that they have registered in a game this season. Only able to find the back of the net twice. This young lady was one of the scorers. Sakalis nicked in behind for Jackson. Checker's going to check her run and push her to the byline. The cross of Alice doesn't go out of play. She's back onto it. Can't get the cross past the lunging Emma Checker. Out for a Box Hill United throw-in adjacent to the 18-yard box. And that fizzes out to not much after that disappointing return ball from Devon Jackson. Crowd starting to build at BT Corner Reserve. Of course, we do have the men's match coming up after this one, so a good old-fashioned double-header. Murray. Oh, lovely return ball from Doi. In towards the 18-yard box. It's Sakalis. Still Sakalis. Couldn't quite find Asuka Doi. And Preston had no other option other than to play it behind for a corner kick. Preston have had all sorts of issues defending set pieces in recent times. They conceded twice from corner kicks in that 4-1 loss to South Melbourne on the weekend. And all 4 goals that they conceded to Spring Hill on Tuesday night were from set pieces. 2 from corner kicks and 2 from free kick situations. This is going to be a right-footed in-swinger. Over in the shadows out there, I think, is Olivia Ellis. Second corner of the night for Box Hill. Headed away by Henderson. Oh, a lovely little turn on the ball there from Jackson. Swings it back into the dangerous area. And just trying to crane her head was Asuka Doi and get the ball back on target. Looking promising when going forward, Box Hill United. The speed and trickery of Devon Jackson on show already. Policine has been busy. And what a thrill it must be for the Box Hill United players to be able to have talents like Rihanna Policina and Devon Jackson come back and play the second half of the NPLW seasons at Box Hill. Policina has been in the A-League Women's Team of the Year each of the past 3 seasons. 3 goals in 14 appearances for Melbourne City in the season just gone. 74 total A-League appearances to her name. Sakalis. Doi on the turn. Parbury. Being watched closely by Lani Gidice. And eventually out of play, Jamila Rankin. Speaking of players that was in the A-League Team of the Year, A-League Women's Team of the Year, Rankin. At one of the fullback positions. Oh, Checker. Playing that one away. It's going to work out all right at the end. It's tracked down by Rankin. Oh, that's a poor pass from Gidice. Parbury swings it in, and here's Devon Jackson, and it should be 1-0 Box Hill United, if not for a tremendous save from Charlotte Horrison, who's made 2 dynamite stops already. Lamont can get past Pickett and run. And Preston have flipped the field. Lovely little turnaround there from Lamont. Brought down inside the 18-yard box. Angie Katsalas says nothing, and then it's played out off Pickett and behind. And the Preston officials down below us are adamant that that should have been a penalty kick for the Preston Lions. This game just bursting into life in the last 60 seconds or so. As we have a look back on the replay. She was brought down from behind, Ellie Lamont. That's one of those ones that we probably need a couple more looks at, and maybe from different angles. Although the coach of Preston down below us, Dan Foden, has seen the replay, and he's making his thoughts known to our referee out in the middle, Angelique Katsalas. An early moment of contention here at BT Connor. Johnson for Funsong Cam. Dancing around a couple and then firing at goal, and it's just whizzing past that far upright. Preston pushing and prodding. Already a couple of good looks from Suzanne Funsong Cam. Another of our A-League women's players out there. And playing with Perth Glory. I can't imagine she would have played too many nights as chilly as this one over in WA. Officially 9 degrees on our NPLW Victoria thermometer. Policina trying to loft it over the top of the Preston defence. Couldn't get it past Checker. Johnson, a good pressing there from Alwyn Parbury, and in fact she's won Box Hill United a throw-in. Box Hill, who haven't had a great record away from home this season, just one win away from Wembley, 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses. And that one win that they did have was against Brunswick Juventus a couple of weeks ago. It took them 4 goals to win that game. 4-3 it ended. Alice can't find Jackson. She'll get it back though. The Pythagoras captain, eventually just overwhelmed by the Preston weight of numbers and a foul. So through the first almost 19 minutes, and some decent opportunities up both ends. Both goalkeepers have had to pull off a couple of decent saves already. The Preston keeper, Hororison, has already made a couple of, I've got to say, world-class saves to deny Devon Jackson twice already. Returning to the starting 11 this season, Alwyn Parbury has been terrific for Box Hill United. She loses possession here. Nishimura's got no one ahead of her. Just have to wait for some cavalry to arrive. Down the left-hand wing charges Jamila Rankin. Her cross was deflected. Tanaka is brought down on the edge of the 18-yard box. And Angie Katsalis this time points the way of Preston. And a very interesting position for Miri Nishimura to have a think about. She scored from the set piece, as I mentioned earlier, last weekend. That particular set piece was in a much less threatening position than this one here. And the fact that she's the only player standing over this dead ball should tell you a lot. Five goals this season in the league in 12 appearances. Box Hill, alert and wary, going for the far post. Reaching for it and parrying it away was Statopoulos, and then helped to the sanctuary of the touchline by Asukudoi. Miri Nishimura, incidentally, who scored the goal that separated these two teams when they met earlier this season, back on match day 3. Just a 1-0 win for the Lions. It was a Miri Nishimura goal from the penalty spot in the 83rd minute. She actually had come on as a second half substitute in that match. Johnson, nice ball, brought down by Henderson, can't quite get it past Statopoulos. And then running past the football and missing it was Rankin, and Box Hill United clear. And another half opportunity. It was Molly May Ramsey, in fact, who found herself with the opportunity to give Preston the lead. And once again, a decent save from Natasha Statopoulos. Hard to believe that this game, 21, almost 22 minutes in, is still 0-0. Policina has Jackson for support, and we'll use her now. Doy and Sakalis make a break for the 18-yard box. And in comes Susan Fonson-Cam and plays that one out into the scrub behind us. Hudson with a poor pass. Preston looking to threaten on the break again. Johnson couldn't get it under her spell. Henderson does. That's a well-weighted pass for Tanaka. Oh, no, it wasn't. Tanaka looking a little bit tired and weary already. Darting up and down this left-hand side for Preston. And the pitch here at BT Cotter maybe just a bit slicker than I first thought. Rankin. Ishimura. Back with checker now of Preston. Ishimura lofting it over the top. Good anticipation from Natasha Stathopoulos. Eyeball to eyeball with Hayley Johnson. Rankin getting in the way of the pass from Elwyn Parbury. Of course, Parbury was with Heidelberg United last season and then was on Melbourne Victory's squad, I should say, in the most recent A-League women's season. Didn't see any action, but a wonderful experience, I'm sure, for the 20-year-old. Turned 21 in 3 weeks. Ishimura dropping into the defence for Preston, slotting in between the two centre-backs. Checker and Jadicha. Difficult to sit here and say that either team have had the ascendancy in terms of possession in this first half. Both sides have had their moments. Lovely turn from Alice. Into the 18-yard box. It's an awkward one for Preston. Jadicha clears it away, but Pythagoras will maintain possession. Murray didn't have enough on it to get it back to Pickett, and now Tanaka has blown straight past her. Doubling back Stathopoulos. That's Mabe Tanaka! It's 1-0 Preston. Capitalising on the mistake from midfield. A wonderful move from Tanaka to blow straight past Laura Pickett. Mabe Tanaka's 6th goal of the season, and Preston lead 1-0 at BT Connor. Well, a breakneck counter-attack from Preston. They've looked mighty menacing on a couple of occasions in this first half. Tanaka, who scored the first goal on Tuesday night in the Cup, as we have a false start here. Scored that goal after only 22 seconds. I'm not sure what took her so long tonight, but Preston are in the lead. A goal on 25 minutes for the electric Preston winger, Policina. Can Box Hill find a quick response? Policina's lost out in possession there to Nishimura. Horison, not a great clearance. Murray. Great harrying and hassling there from Nishimura. Parbury, it's probably her first mistake she's made in the game so far. Jadicha. Lamont. Don't want to maintain possession. It's the 8th time this season that Preston have scored first in the league. On the previous 7 occasions, they've gone on to win all 7. Box Hill United chasing the game again. Policina with not a whole lot of room to work in, but she conjures a beautiful pass. Sakalis, twinkle toes midfielder for Box Hill, skips past a couple of would-be tacklers. Policina out for Parbury. Sakalis, numbers up ahead. Parbury and Rankin, and Parbury couldn't keep the football in the field of play. Perhaps for the first time in the match, you can now say that a team has the full-blown ascendancy, although here come Box Hill as I speak. Jackson for Policina. Well, it would have been an incredible goal around the corner on the outside of the boot without much power or conviction at all. Mabe Tanaka, the goal scorer, joined Preston one of their mid-season transfer signings, was playing football in South Korea. Suwon FC. Fonson Cam just losing track of the ball there. Maybe Tanaka, 6 goals now this season, as I mentioned, 3 in the league and a couple in the cup. Actually scored, I've mentioned that early goal she scored on Tuesday night. She scored a brace in the quarterfinal win over Spring Hills. That should be a foul going against Olivia Ellis, and indeed it is. Oh, Doya, nice turn to get out of trouble. And we're going to see a yellow card here. Our first, I believe our first of the evening. And that'll go to Preston's number 15, Emma Checker. Play back underway on the halfway line. Doy attacking it. Winning the second ball will be Jackson. Parbury. Her cross hit first time. Nishimura chesting it down. Rankin. Preston on the break again. Oh, that pass probably had to go out wide to Tanaka, who'd broken free. Box Hill United feeling their way through some awkward moments here. It's another great turn from Olivia Ellis. Ramsey watching her closely. Oh, down goes Olivia Ellis, landed very heavily. Nothing untoward there. Pickett should be the first one back for Box Hill United, and back with Statopoulos. Oh, an awkward bounce for Parbury. That one did come off the hand of Hayley Johnson. The referee waited to see if there was any advantage, which there wasn't. So half an hour gone at BT Connor. Under the full moon in Preston. The Lions 1, Pythagoras 0. Preston looking for a win this evening that would send them up into second on the table. For the time being anyway, they can stay there only if they get a little bit of help. Tomorrow afternoon, they'd need Essendon Royals and South Melbourne to not win their games, keeping in mind that the Royals do in fact have a league game in hand. Yeah, getting a little frustrated, some of the players in midfield for Box Hill. Devon Jackson frustrated not being able to get that one in under her control, I should say. Parbury. Here's Jackson. Parbury with the nutmeg on Rankin, and then going in unceremoniously and haphazardly was Susan Fonsonkamp. Perhaps a little bit lucky to escape the ire of the referee there. She has been warned by the referee, but it's not a colour-coded warning, just a verbal one. Policina. Good numbers in the box for Box Hill. Policina's cross turned into a shot in the end, and right on the goal line. Horrison was there to capture it. Good desperate work there from Parbury. Johnson wants to take the throw in quickly. Here's Tanaka. Chopped down by Parbury. Just a couple of loose challenges starting to fly in from the team in blue, who have played some pretty nice football in these first 32 or so minutes for no reward. Here's the goal scorer, Tanaka. Heading for the 18-yard box. Whips a wicked cross right across the top of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared away by United. Nishimura. Ramsey. Checker. Loves to hit them first time. Clever header there from Lamont. You could see what she was trying to do. Trying to recruit the run there of Hayley Johnson. Just a bit too much on it. Nishimura. Ramsey. Once again, Checker happy to just put her boot through the ball. Out of play and a cheap turnover. Murray now for Box Hill United. Ran into a cul-de-sac, but out off Preston last. Alice can't get it past Nishimura. Eventually she gets the better of the Lions midfielder. Cleared away by the falling Henderson. Cooling back with Pickett. Hudson. Sakalis, who's been here, there and everywhere in this first half for United. Parbury. Down goes Jamila Rankin. Don't think there was any contact there. I think she just lost her own footing. The Preston left back. Mentioned that goal that she scored in the Cup on Tuesday night. That came in extra time. Unlikely goal scorer for Preston. Cooling rolling forward now for Box Hill. Doi. Ill direct first touch, or likewise for Ramsey. Checkers there to clean it up. Nishimura looks out onto the left wing and didn't really see anything she liked. She just had to tread water for a moment. Rankin's ball forward for Henderson. Expert defending there from Laura Pickett. Returning to Box Hill in the second half of this season after spending some time with Melbourne Victory. She has been at Box Hill, Laura Pickett, since 2017 when she was involved in the under-15s. Box Hill through and through. Only 20 years of age, will turn 21 in September. Jackson just thought she might have been tempted to unload from range there. Parbury didn't quite work for Sakalis. And Checker made sure it didn't work for Alice. Plays it out of touch. The final 10 minutes of the first half are upon us. It's been a back and forth opening stanza. Sakalis. Well done by Checker to call her goalkeeper into it. That's all the poise and experience you'd expect of someone with 150 A-League women's appearances. Announced her retirement from that level earlier this season. There's that one off the boot of Checker, slammed into the stomach of Murray. Alice, well brought down by Nishimura. Johnson. 3-on-4 here in favour of Box Hill. Tanaka. Lamont making a run into the 18-yard box. Went a little further than her. It was looking for Johnson, but Stathopoulos in the road to thwart that thrust forward for the Lions. If Box Hill United were to find a goal here, and we went into the break at 1-1, you'd probably have to say that that would be a fair result based on how the first half has transpired. Box Hill United have forced a couple of outstanding saves from the Preston goalkeeper, Charlotte Horrison. If you weren't with us for the earlier minutes of this match. Couple of efforts from Devon Jackson. On another night, Devon might have scored both. Preston had a penalty shout when Ali Lamont charged into the 18-yard box. It looked to be brought down from behind. The referee didn't see anything illegal. Only a few minutes later, Mabe Tanaka made it 1-0 regardless. And so it is, Preston 1, Box Hill United 0. Cooling and Murray. Policina has Henderson for company. Turning around and not quite able to get herself clear. She wanted a foul. Once again, Preston play on with a forlorn and upset Box Hill player on the turf in the background. Johnson. Gadicha. Johnson, now Nishimura, couldn't get it past Murray, back in possession, Nishimura, Preston just poking and prodding again, Jadicha, Checker taking the territory on offer in front of her, out for Ramsey, it would be cross-blocked by Cooling. Out for a throw-in. Goal number 35 on the season that Mabe Tanaka scored a moment ago. Almost in behind again here. Henderson. Copped that one to the face. Rankin. Tanaka's kept herself on side. Back with Rankin. Henderson and, Tanaka and Rankin some interplay there. Jadicha and now Nishimura. Nice pass. Rankin. Box Hill just lost her on the radar for a moment. Oh, Rankin did well to get past Parbury and then lofts it into the 18-yard box. Brought down by Tanaka! And she spooned it over the top. And she knows it should have been a first half brace. And Box Hill United breathe a sigh of relief. What a pass from Nishimura to find Jamila Rankin in the first instance. Tanaka from 7 yards out couldn't keep it down. Referee calling it back here for a Preston throw-in. Jadicha trying to get past Jackson. Rankin in close quarters, loses out. Maybe an opportunity for Box Hill to thrust forward here. Sakalis threads the eye of the needle there with the pass. Checker will be happy to see this one trickle out for a throw-in. As I was mentioning, 35 goals on the season now for Preston. The 34 that they'd scored in the league coming into match day 14 was the second most in the National Premier League Women's Victoria. Policina a little bit sore just in the back play here. It's been spotted by referee Angelique Katsalis. Bobby Zdravkovsky, the Box Hill United coach, and all the Pythagoras fans And indeed, all the Melbourne City fans will be hoping that this is nothing too serious. It doesn't look that way. Or should I say, it does look that way. It looks like it's nothing too serious. She's back up and running now and might actually get possession. Indeed, she does. Jackson. Sakalis for Policina. Oh, and then a fumble by Horrison, and thankfully it didn't end up behind her. Zeljko Kalak style. Saved awkwardly, but saved all the same. Henderson on the turn. Can't get it past Murray. Doi. Preston back in possession on the last line. This is where most of their great passages of build-up play have started from, Preston. The goal they scored came from the turnover in midfield. They've had a couple of really nice thrusts forward that have begun from the back. Checker. Oh, what a touch from Fonson Camp. And Henderson is running. Lofting it in. Oh, a foot race here between Lamont and Cooling. Cooling got the speed wobbles. Lamont got the football and then got round Cooling. Will she play it for Tanaka? She went herself. Deflection will fall kindly for her. Back into the back stick. And the diving Rankin can't keep it alive for Preston. Another push forward for the Lions. Doesn't amount to anything. But they just look like they have far more ideas. And they just look a lot crisper in that final third. Preston, Lamont and Tanaka. Outside of those early couple of opportunities that fell the way of Devon Jackson for Box Hill, they haven't really been able to conjure anything of note, despite having the ball in the 18-yard box quite a few times. Lamont slips in, Fonson Cam, tight angle, and then turned in on the line by Tanaka. And it is the first half brace for the dynamite Preston attacker. And in the final minutes of the first half, Preston double their lead. And it's a long way back for Box Hill United now. Preston 2, Box Hill United 0. Tanaka with her second goal. Goal number 7 of the season. As we venture into 1 minute of stoppage time. How deflating is that for Box Hill United? Well, the final touch of the 45 minutes. A goal for Maybay Tanaka. And it's 2 games in a row now that Maybay Tanaka has a brace. Rankin. Rolling forward. That pass entrusted a little bit too much faith in Maybay Tanaka, who will have 45 minutes to try and find her first hat-trick in Victorian football. That's if she can't find one here in the dying seconds of the first half. She won't be able to. That is the end of the opening 45 minutes. A pretty competitive opening half. Both teams had their opportunities up either end. The opportunity started to dry up a little bit for Box Hill United in the last 15, 20 minutes or so. They'll consider themselves unlucky that they weren't able to score at least one goal. And as they head for the sheds at half-time, they won't like the look of that scoreboard. An opening half brace for Preston winger Maybay Tanaka. And so that's all the scoring done for the first half. Brent Sternberg is my name, everybody. We'll step out and take a little break and be back to see if Box Hill United can punch their way out of a hole here away from home. The score at half-time here at BT Connor Reserve, it's Preston 2, Box Hill United 0. Welcome back to BT Connor Reserve in Preston, everybody, where it's the home side Lions who sit on a 2-0 lead as we get set to go for the second half. Preston in the iconic red and black vertical stripes and Box Hill United in the royal blue. The Lions on the immediate attack. Henderson's going to load up from a mile out. Shank the shot a little, and Stathopoulos, the Box Hill goalkeeper, is happy to see that one go out of play. If you weren't with us for the first half, you're just tuning in and you're seeing the scoreline of 2-0 Preston. It was a much more even first half than that. Between the two sides, we had 12 total shots on target. 7 for Preston and 5 for Box Hill. Preston just a little bit more clinical when they did get their opportunities. Preston will be probably a little bit disappointed that they actually didn't have another couple of goals. Tanaka could have had a first half hat-trick. She does have a first half brace, of course. Goals in the 25th and 44th minute. She also had an opportunity that she spooned over the crossbar and out from 7 yards away. So, playing on a hat-trick here. No changes to tell you about at half-time. I don't believe so anyway. I've cast my eye across the ladies that are out there. Here's Emma Checker, who raced over to the sideline just before we kicked off for the second half to get some gloves. Very chilly evening here in the northern suburbs of Melbourne this evening. (10 degrees on the NPLW Victoria thermometer. And just some housekeeping as well. Emma Checker, the only player on a yellow card. As we head into the second half here at BT Connor Reserve, Box Hill looking to try and come from behind and get a result here. Preston looking to hold on to their lead and perhaps even build on it. And a win tonight will take them up into second place on the table. Molly Mae Ramsey at right back for Preston had a terrific duel with Olivia Alice in the first half. Nishimura. And a handball on Ellie Lamont. And Devon Jackson, who started the game terrifically, had a couple of tremendous opportunities in the first 15 minutes for Box Hill. Went out of the game a little bit, went a little bit quiet in the closing stages of the first half. Preston's for the 7th time this season led at half-time. The previous 6 occasions have all led to victories. Great pass from Emma Checker. Fonson Cam tried to dart around Cooling and then cutting across was Pickett. And the loose ball jars the way of Natasha Stathopoulos. And in the meantime, Susan Fonson Cam has been slow to pick herself up. Might introduce you to the players who are on the bench this evening for Preston. And in the meantime, Box Hill will actually make a substitution, likely at the next stoppage. Alyssa Ferrugia is the reserve goalkeeper. Summer Kapanetchia, Jade Feeks, Brianna Gurr, El Talevsky, and Dakota Thyssen. Not a lot of attacking options there on the bench for Preston. One of the players on the bench for Box Hill United is about to come on as Lamont has slipped in behind. She just left the football behind. Couldn't get it to Tanaka. It's cleared away by United. And Nicolina Bacallo looks like she's going to enter the fray, so she'll be able to get out there and warm up. Normally plays at fullback, Bucalino, so I'd imagine it would be one of either Bridie Cooling or Elwyn Parbury who will be pulled from the pitch for the 24-year-old Bacallo. Out for a throw-in on the far side. Away by Chidicha. Jackson, who when she was involved in the first half, was pulling some pretty authoritative strings for Box Hill in midfield. Policina twisting and turning, cooling. A bit of a hopeless ball into the 18-yard box. I wonder if that might be her final act this evening. Buccolino can play in advanced positions up on the wings as well, so we wait with bated breath to see who she replaces. She has actually disappeared and gone and sat back down, so Bobby Zdravkovsky, the Box Hill United coach, may have changed his mind. Fonson-Cam's gone down again here. Quick to pick herself up on this occasion. Crowd starting to roll in. We have a double header this evening. The Preston boys are playing the Bentley Greens in the men's match a little bit later this evening. Lamont buzzing around and providing some headaches. Johnson, Tanaka, just couldn't dig the football out. All clear to the dangerous Nishimura, who didn't quite wrap her boot around it. And turns away and walks back to her midfield position, a little bit frustrated at that attempt. Miri Nishimura's 5th season at Preston. Part of the team that won promotion in 2022. Here's Tanaka. Taken off her boot by Murray, who can't stop it from going out for a throw-in. A corner kick, I should say. I beg your pardon. So this is going to be Preston's first corner kick of the match. We'll call it 7 minutes into the second half. Nishimura's got Fonson-Cam short. Policina was a little slow to react to that. A couple of our A-League women's talent going toe-to-toe. Cleared away by United, and Sakalis has only Devon Jackson up ahead. Has to go for her, but it wasn't a well-placed pass. Chidicha. About Ramsey. Worried out of it by Elwyn Parbury. And here for Box Hill United, in fact, comes a double change. And it is going to be Nicola Buccolino to come on. Zoe Hudson is coming off. She's going to be replaced by the former Preston Lion, Belinda Stachevsky. It'll be a change in the middle of the defence. And Buccolino is on. Zoe Hudson and Asuka Doi, the players coming off for Box Hill United. Looks like Buccolino has taken up her position on the right wing for United. Here's Sakalis in heavy traffic. Alice. From Murray. Headed away by Rankin, only as far as Alice, who hit it okay. And then it's parried away by Hura Horrison, chased down by Policina. Good moments here for Box Hill. Policina dancing on the ball in the 18-yard box. Back to Murray. Lofting one into the far post. And it's well claimed in the end by Charlotte Hura Horrison, who could not afford to fumble that one. And had to pull off a couple of incredible saves in the first half to keep the sheet clean for Preston as Lamont earns a foul in midfield. Just 17 years of age, the Preston goalkeeper. It's her first season here at BT Connor, coming over from FV Emerging via St Albans. Great play Tanaka swings it in. Johnson is there. Just took a little deflection on the way to her. Henderson on the turn as she got the shot away, but she was slipping. And it goes down as another shot for Preston, but a shot off target. They're starting to mount. And Box Hill United haven't come from behind to win this season. And they only managed to do so once last year. They're on the march again. Sakalis. Now this is Bucalino, the substitutes, into the 6-yard box. Checker and Jadicha combining to clear it away. But Bucalino on that right wing has already had a bit of an impact. Murray in for Policida, a little bit too tall, parried away by Hororison. Nishimura and now Hayley Johnson. Good work defensively there from Cooling. Jackson. Bucalino, I think, was onside, but the pass from the Kiwi, Devin Jackson, just a little bit too much. So Bucalino and Belinda Stachevsky, the players who came on for Box Hill United. They've got the reserve goalkeeper, Deborah Lawrence, Olivia Johnston, Zoe Kataforis, and Chiara Littieri. Olivia Johnston, who actually scored in that game against the Bentley Greens last week. She was credited as the goal scorer. Go back and have a look on the replay on the NPLW Football Victoria, I should say, YouTube channel. Have a look at that game. It looked an awful lot like an own goal to me, but Olivia Johnston was credited with it. Jadicha plays that one out of touch.
Well done. You want to go forward there, okay?
Oh, Lamont, that's a good enough touch. Now she'll back her speed to get in behind. Cooling. Well, Cooling was cool in the end. Got it away from the dangerous Ali Lamont. And plays it away back to midfield. It's a bit of a shank and it went out of play, but she'll be happy with the fact that the ball has left her area. Great one-on-one battle between Cooling and Lamont. Overall, this is the 20th meeting between these two teams in the top division here in Victoria. More on that in a moment as Fonsung Cam skips her way clear. And still emerging with the football. Nishimura for Ramsey. Oh, just didn't quite get the touch she needed. I don't think she got any touch, in fact. It's out of play. Their 20th meeting all time. And Box Hill actually have dominated this particular fixture over the years. 18 wins to Preston's 2. Both of those two of those wins, I should say, for Box Hill coming in the NPLW era. Nishimura, Tanaka to the byline. Good defending from Belinda Stachevsky. As I mentioned, against her former side, she made 13 appearances for the Lions last season. Second corner kick of the night for the Lions. Again, they've got Fonsung Cam short. Box Hill much quicker to react on this occasion. It'll be a right-footed out-swinger from Nishimura. Preston in search of their third. Hits a good area. The header from Johnson. Got it into the ground, and that took a lot of pace off it. Allowed Stathopoulos to gather comfortably. Jackson. The number 8 playing the role of the number 9 here, chasing this one all the way down. Riding the challenge of Ramsey and getting behind her. Ends up getting a ball into the 18-yard box. Back it comes for Bacallo. Disappointing pass into the 18-yard box. Away by Nishimura. Lamont and Alice this time tangling. Lamont brought down by Olivia Alice. The referee says a foul. And is it any more than that? I think our referee, Angelique Catsalis, is saying to Ali Lamont, that's your last warning. Still just one yellow card brandished. That was for Emma Checker in the first half. And just back on the match-up history between these two teams, of course, most of those meetings that came a good 20 years ago were when Box Hill were known as Box Hill Inter. Box Hill United nowadays, of course, when they were a powerhouse. They won 8 titles in 10 years. Box Hill United between 2003 and 2012. Looking to play finals, though, in the top division anyway, for the first time since 2013. Preston about to go to the bench for the first time. I'd imagine at the next stoppage, it's Al Talevsky who is waiting in the wings. Meantime, Checkers hoisting this one forward. Johnson and Parbury. Johnson knew it was going to be a throw-in. Let it run out of play. Ramsey. Back with Johnson. He managed to keep it in, but was in an offside position. And here comes Al Talevsky. And she's going to be replacing Alani Judica. 16-year-old Lani Judica from Bendigo. I say from Bendigo, that is where she lives. She makes that trek every day for training and every weekend to play. A wonderful example of commitment and perseverance. Bendigo City was her local team. Back in the Golden City. Talevsky to substitute. Her first role is to play that one out of play and keep it away from the dangerous Devon Jackson. Cooling out wide, an awkward bounce for the Callow. Chased down by Rankin. Slipped as she tried to get it in for the captain, Henderson. Oh, now Policina's kept her head in the game there, as did Charlotte Horrison to get to the football first. A few players thought that had enough on it to reach the byline. Past the hour mark we go then. Preston Lions 2, Box Hill United 0, the first half brace. And Maybe Tanaka on the football now. Ramsey. Being watched closely by Cooling. Tanaka. She's got 2. Can she provide an assist here? Lamont was in an offside position regardless. And out of play. Inching ever closer, Preston, to their 4th win at home this season. Only lost to the top of the table, Bulleen and Heidelberg United. Parbury for Alice. It's back with Pickett's. Well controlled by Sakalis, former gold medal winner here in the NPLW. Galino, an untidy pass back to Murray. This possession stays alive for Box Hill. It's not particularly easy on the eye. Cooling's been dragged all the way back to the touchline here. Alice. Policina. Tanaka. Johnson trying to get that one in first time for Nishimura. To no avail on that occasion. And then a mistake down below us for Alwyn Parbury.
they've got to think about.
Preston manager Dan Foden down below just asking for his girls to just chill out. They sit on a 2-goal cushion.
Get up. Get on there. Quicker. That's where it's going to go. Off.
Lamont's header looking from the bay. Tanaka, who once again has seen the linesman on this near side raise his flag for offside. This is the only match in the NPLW this evening. The rest of the matches to come tomorrow. You can watch all of them, of course, on the Football Victoria YouTube stream. All afternoon games tomorrow. Brunswick Juventus at home against the struggling Calder United. There's Lamont. He's going to sift this one through for Johnson. Has Tanaka in the middle. Just got it under the nose of the hat-trick bound Mabe Tanaka. One of their better moves of the second half though, Preston. Get back to some of the other clashes that we've got for you tomorrow afternoon around Melbourne in just a moment. Throw in adjacent to the 18-yard box. Tanaka, Henderson. Lovely interplay now. Nishimura loves to hit them from range. Nishimura does hit it from range and didn't get it to come back out in time. Strange defensive tactics there from Box Hill. They let Nishimura just waltz around on her own there on the edge of the 18-yard box. And we're nowhere near quick enough to close her down. In the meantime, we've got Alwyn Parbury, who has taken a seat on the pitch right on halfway. Those other games around the league tomorrow. Essendon Royals, they're at home playing Heidelberg United. Alamein will take on South Melbourne at Dorothy Laver. So Brunswick UV and Calder United, Essendon and Heidelberg United, and Alamein and South Melbourne will kick off at 3 p.m. and then one game kicking off at 4 o'clock. Making her way on for Box Hill is Olivia Johnston. The game at 4 o'clock out at Kingston Heath, Bentley and FB emerging. So Alwyn Parbury's night is done. One of Box Hill's better players in the first half. Well brought down by Policina. Jackson has been quite isolated this evening when she's had possession. Johnston's going to cough up possession. Ramsey gives it straight back. Johnston gets an immediate mulligan and then loses possession. Johnston, an 18-year-old, been at Box Hill since 2019, part of the under-14s. It's wonderful to see those players come up through the ranks and play senior football. Box Hill United, as I mentioned earlier, looking to break their near-on 10-year finals drought in the top division. And Lamont, this time is onside and racing into the 18-yard box, should score. Oh, wonderful save. Coming up at the attacking Lamont was Statopoulos, Fonsong Cam, twisting and turning and doubling back and then misfiring. And what an opportunity for Ali Lamont. And Natasha Statopoulos again called into action and again up to the task. And still, the scoreline remains 2-0. Preston have had 2 or 3 opportunities this evening that on any other night likely would have gone in. Nine total, 10 total shots on goal now for Preston.
Open up, look at the ball. Well done.
Pick it back for Statopoulos. took a nick off Ali Lamont, so a throw in for Box Hill on the far side. Still trying to plot their path back into this match. Murray. Jackson down the right-hand channel for Pythagoras, watched closely by Talevski. The pass looking for Bacallo. Good work there from Rankin to shield that one out of play harmlessly for a goal kick. El Talevski, who was on the score sheet on Tuesday night, unfortunately for her, for the wrong team, scored an own goal. Didn't matter too much in the end. Looks like she's taken up a position at left back for Preston. She did actually play in the heart of defence on Tuesday night, started that particular match. Sakalis, lovely pass on the outside of the boot for Johnston. Jackson, for one of the rare times this evening, has a little bit of space. She is eventually thwarted by Henderson. Bacallo, and now back for Jackson. Rifles it in at the near post. And Rahorison has no option really other than to parry it out of play and behind for a corner kick. Box Hill's third of the evening. They did have 2 in the first half. Their choice here is to take it short. And perhaps they might have been better putting it into the mix because Sakalis and Policina have mucked it up on the outer side there. Checker. Happy to waltz forward and take as much territory as Box Hill will allow. Alice frustrated with her pass in behind there. I think Johnston was expecting that pass to go in front of her. No signs of slowing down here for Dan Foden's troops, who went almost a distance on Tuesday night, 120 minutes. Didn't have to put up with the anxieties of a penalty shootout, but 120 minutes is a lot of football to play when you're playing only 3 days later. 4th game in the past 15 days for Preston. Tanaka and Checker. Ramsey was able to stay on side there. It won't matter. It's back out of play. And Preston, who we remind you have won just one of their past 5 matches in the league. Despite what the ladder positions suggest, Box Hill, well, the formed team of these 2 sides coming into this one, winners in 3 of their past 4. Sakalis, Bacallo's just able to capture that one inside the field of play. It's with Jackson, who's having great difficulties trying to get past Nishimura, so she's happy to play the football out and behind for another corner kick. And what are the tactics this time around? Short or into the mix? Looks like the latter. Bar, 2 outfield players up for Pythagoras. Doesn't quite make its way to Pickett. Headed away by Checker and then tidied up by Tanaka in midfield. Bacallo. Past Tanaka. Into the 18-yard box where Policina was their only hope. She appreciates the idea and the pass, but in truth it was rather routinely defended by the brilliant Emma Checker. Johnston brought down by Johnston. No foul, throw in instead. Into the final quarter hour of this one. A period of the game where Box Hill United have not done a lot of scoring this season. Dakota Thyssen coming in to the match for Hayley Johnson. We're going to see Summer Capadeccia as well, who's going to go up into attack in place of Ellie Lamont, who's had a bit of a frustrating night. Ellie has had a couple of good looks at goal. Has probably seen more of the offside flag than she has genuine opportunities. She won't care too much when she has a look up at the scoreboard and sees her side sitting on a 2-0 lead. And she'll care even less when she goes home tonight and sees the updated NPLW Victoria with Preston sitting in second spot. That's not if Box Hill have anything to say about it. Forward comes Holly Murray. Bacallo has been terrific on that right-hand side for Box Hill United since coming on. She loses possession and then gives away the foul in this instance. Box Hill United just one goal this season after the 75-minute mark. That's the equal fewest in the NPLW Victoria. Of course, they're going to have to score 2 tonight to get a result out of this one. They've scored 20 goals in total this season. Pythagoras, just 9 in the second half of games. Preston have scored 22 second half goals this season, which is equals second most. If they're to score a 23rd here, it'll be game, set and match for Preston. For Horrison, can't get the clearance past Johnston. Checker there again to turn it upfield. Jackson got a chase here for United. Does well to get it to Bacallo. Sakalis is going to leave this one for Johnston. Sakalis weave some late night magic here. Policina eventually digs the football out of a tight spot. Sakalis is brought down. And a foul on the edge of the 18-yard box, and perhaps an opportunity for Box Hill to concoct something from the set-piece situation. We mentioned earlier in the evening Preston's difficulties with dealing with set pieces in the past couple of games. All 4 of the goals that they conceded on Tuesday night came from dead ball situations. Policina and Sakalis standing over this one, having a think about it. This is not beyond Rihanna Policina, who's going to go for goal. And the wall does its job. Pickett first one there to try and keep this alive for Box Hill. Bacallo worked it nicely back to Murray. Pickett right across the fringes of the 18-yard box. Policina tracks down the throw-in. It's back with Bridie Cooling. Good work there from Capadeccia, who now has the ball at her feet. Bringing it forward. 23-year-old. Henderson, it was a good idea just trying to play it in between the gaps of the Box Hill back 4. But Fonson Cam, in the end, saw it fizz away from her and thought, no, I'm not going to chase that one down. Into the final 10 minutes. Still the first half brace from Mabe Tanaka. Struck in the 25th minute and then again in the 44th. Haven't been too many clear-cut opportunities really for either side in this second half. Turnover in midfield. Here's Policina. Bacallo. Oh, a lovely touch from Policina. Checker's got to work the angles here. Plays it to safety. Melbourne Victory v Melbourne City contest there. As usual, Melbourne Victory winning out. Sakalis, a little back heel, and then Johnson couldn't turn it goalward bound. And it didn't take a touch either. It's out and behind for a goal kick. Olivia Johnston, who, as I mentioned, scored in that 2-1 win over Bentley last Friday night. Dan Foden going back to the bench here. There will be no hat-trick tonight for Mabe Tanaka. There'll be another brace, 2 games in a row now. She's found the score sheet twice. And she's going to be replaced by former Box Hill United player Jade Fix. 29 appearances she made in Pythagoras Blue in 2016 and 17. Thrown into the fray late on here to try and solidify Preston's 2-0 lead. It looks relatively comfortable as we meander our way towards the 90 minutes. Molly May Ramsey slips over. Sakalis. A goal here for Box Hill would make things interesting. Keep in mind that Preston last weekend against South Melbourne conceded 2 goals after the 89th minute. If they were to do that here tonight, it would be bedlam. Henderson won it well in midfield, but their pass going forward, looking for Caponecchio, was a little bit astray. Johnston. Can't get it past Emma Checker, who's been a brick wall this evening. They're winning back possession in midfield here, Box Hill. Just starting to run out of ideas when they thrust forward. Tyson. Coming on off the bench after being in the starting 11 for the Lions on Tuesday night. Henderson and Stachevski. A couple of former teammates. Good battle this. Stachevski wins the day. Bacallo can't turn away from Rankin. It does win the throw-in. They do go down tonight, Box Hill. It's looking more and more likely that will happen. They are in 9th position on the table. The good news for them is they are actually 10 points clear of the teams below them. So it would take a mighty effort for one of those 2 sides to get past Box Hill as Nishimura hits it first time. Has that one trickling past the far upright. And in fact, if either of those teams are able to work their way past Box Hill on the table, it would take a bit of a collapse from Bobby Zdravkovsky's troops. Lovely little dummy in turn there from Murray, who's been one of the best players on the park in what will likely be a losing effort this evening. Sakala swings it out. Here to Policina, who was terrific in the first half an hour or so of this evening. Drifted in and out of the game in the second half. Here she is in possession again. Trying to turn inside and link it up with Sakalis, who couldn't get it back to Policina. Cooling.
Pull it down, get control.
Stachevski. Oh, well done there. Great anticipation from Rankin. Looks like she's going to play the full 90 this evening. After playing almost 110 minutes on Tuesday nights. Foot race between Cooling and Ramsey. Cooling did well, not just to get it out of play, but out off Molly May Ramsey. So Preston are away next weekend to FB Emerging, as there's one last chance here for Bobby Zdravkovsky to bring in a couple of his troops. In comes Chiara Lettieri. And also Cataphorus coming off will be Devon Jackson and the captain Olivia Morris. Preston away to FB emerging before the Cup semi-final against Bundura. After that, they'll be back home to play Brunswick UVA and then away to Bentley. Johnston gets out of a bit of a tight spot. Here's Lettieri. Only Policina up ahead. That was good work from Tyson defensively. Murray. Hopeful one there for Johnston. Sees it bounce past there and into the grateful gloves again of Charlotte Harrison, who's had a much quieter second half. Had to see off 5 shots on target from Box Hill United in the opening 45. We've got a bit of a traffic jam in midfield here. A couple of those saves that Harrison pulled off were world class. As Henderson picks up a foul. So it looks like a couple of their players that played the entire 120 minutes on Tuesday night are going to go the distance again here, Preston. Be happy to rest up and look forward to that next league match next weekend. And they'll keep an eye, no doubt, on what's going on around the NPLW Victoria tomorrow, hoping that some results go their way, and at the end of match day 14, second spot on the table is theirs. And they'll be able to watch all of those games on NPLW Victoria, the Football Victoria, I should say. I've marked that up a lot tonight, the Football Victoria YouTube channel. There was a foul plucked out on that far side Preston's way, so Susan Fonsongkham gets over to take the free kick. Looking to put this one in the books for good. Swings it in. It's away by Picallo, I think that might have been. Opportunity here for Box Hill to break. Policina. And now Sakalis. Sakalis is going to try and get it back here to Policina. Fonsongkham's done so well to work her way back in defensive transition and see it out of play. Last touch by Rankin and out for a Box Hill corner kick. How many resources do they put forward here? Everybody except Cooling and Stachevski by the looks of it. A right-footed outswinger that will trouble the top of the netting, but not Charlotte Harrison. A disappointing end to that little foray forward for Box Hill. A night that started promising for them. They were the better team in the first, well, certainly the first half, but the first 10, 15 minutes or so probably should have found themselves a goal to the good at least. Bobby Zdravkovsky's side. Hacked away by Talevski. And Cooling's been terrific in defence tonight for Box Hill. He's conceded possession here. Johnston. Policina. Oh, Lettieri. Policina keeping Feeks honest. Ended up with the ball. And a foul in the build-up. And still Charlotte Harrison will not let the ball in the net. No mercy. The Box Hill players are looking around and a bit upset that there was a foul. Pulled out of that little thrust forward there. Heading for stoppage time at the end of the 90. Our fourth official this season, Geordie Walton's going to let us know how much longer there is. On a night where Preston is going to pick up its 9th win of the season, its 4th at home, and will, tonight at least, be second on the table. Oh, bit of a mistake there from Feeks. He's got Checker for support. Into 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the 90. Time for perhaps a consolation goal for Box Hill, but probably not two. Be a frantic finish if that's to come to pass this evening. Murray got to get on her bike again here. Sakalis. Another decent night at the office for her. Policina. Sakalis and Policina have linked up so often tonight for Box Hill. Again being turned away. Box Hill have back-to-back away games coming up against Alamein and then Bulleen. So another clash with the mid-table dweller, and then obviously a difficult one against the table toppers. There could have been 3 or 4 fouls paid in there. The last one was. Angelique Katsalis laying down the law to everybody, even those on the sidelines. Have they got the appetite for a third goal here, Preston? Checker's pass. Looking for Kapanecic. Kept in by Statopoulos, who's off and running. Pumping it in the direction of Bacallo. It's a nice little back heel. So good that I don't think Chiara Lettieri was expecting it. Fonson Cam, the tireless one. It's brought down by Stachevski. No foul, a throw in instead. Final seconds of this one. A chilly Friday evening in Preston, where the Lions are going to get their way to a relatively comfortable 2-0 victory. They got a bit of a fright in the cup on Tuesday nights. It's been far more workmanlike this evening. Had to weather a bit of a first half storm. Pythagoras came out throwing some punches. Haven't been able to find that killer instinct though this evening. Box Hill United in the attacking third. Looking like they're going to go goalless for the 4th time this season. Fonson Cam wins the foul. There's no time for it. Referee Angelique Katsalis blows the whistle. And it's full time here at BT Connor Reserve. An opening half brace for the dynamic Preston winger Mabe Tanaka was enough. She struck in the 25th minute and then again in the final minute of the first half. And in the end, that was more than enough to get the job done for the Lions. Having coming into this one, just winners in one of their previous 5 matches. They're on the winners list again this evening. And for tonight at least, the second spot on the table is theirs. And Tanaka with the first half brace. The Box Hill tried as they might, couldn't find the breakthrough. Certainly couldn't find the 2 goals they needed to get a result here this evening. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. My name's Brent Sternberg. Stay tuned for the rest of the Matchday 14 matches tomorrow on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. For here on a cool Friday evening at BT Connor Reserve in Preston. The final score, Preston 2, Box Hill United 0.